and Technical College System Board of Regents Executive Committee meeting to order. I would like to ask Mrs. Tegal, parliamentarian, to please call the roll.
Chair Hamilton,
Yes.
Vice Chair Stevens,
Yes.
Secretary Witten,
Yes.
Regent Hunt, Regent Rabinowitz. We have quorum.
Here, sorry.
Oh, perfect. We have quorum.
Alrighty. Now we need to approve the meeting minutes from the May 18th, 2026. Are there any corrections to the meeting minutes? If not, I have a motion to approve the minutes as presented.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Vice Chair Stevens, second by Secretary Witten. Is there any objection to the motion to approve the minutes? Hearing none, the motion passes by consensus.
Alrighty. At this time, I would like to ask Dr. Quarles to briefly walk us through the 2026 through 2027 vision and goals that have been incorporated into the draft evaluation form.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and greetings from the Kentucky State Fair. I had some meetings in Louisville today, but thankfully we can join today. And thank you for serving on the executive committee for you all. This is an extra meeting or two throughout the year, so thank you for that. As you know, for the presidential evaluation, we've talked about this for a couple of years now, and it looks like we've developed a pathway forward that it reflects the vision and goals that I present in June. And then obviously offer up the opportunity for you all or other folks in the organization to add to or edit or supplement those vision and goals. And so I'll just briefly go through the same document that I presented back in June. There are 3 main visions, 14 specific goals that you can incorporate into my evaluation during this academic year. So I'll go pretty quick. The first vision is to create clear pathways for student success. Obviously, we want to make sure that when students enroll with us, that there's a pathway either to transfer or to the workforce, or there's a specific reason why they're with us to get some course credit out of the way. And so the first one is expand transfer pathways. This continues our work with making sure that our transfer agreements are modern, up to date, not just with our public 4 years, but also with the private institutions in Kentucky, as well as those adjacent to the boundaries of the Commonwealth where we know student transferring is occurring. The big one this next year will be KSU as they re-envision themselves as a polytechnical institution, but also new pathways such as the new Murray State Veterinarian School to make sure that we have a pathway for those who want to become veterinarians as well. Number 2 is to enrich student experience. This is something I think has gotten a lot of positive feedback from our faculty and staff as I address various groups as they welcome back both employees with students on campus. This is about making sure that we have as a robust student extracurricular cachet of programs as possible. Obviously, we have institutional ones like PTK and academic teams, et cetera. But I'd like to elevate that with perhaps some international study abroad opportunities for our students, as well as skills competitions across the system, perhaps even create a KCTCS tournament. And we already have 16 colleges, so everyone's already in the Sweet 16, and that's what we'll work on. Number 3, real quickly, is to prepare for federal accountability changes. This has to deal with not optional, but mandatory reporting that all higher education's got to do across the country, but making sure that we're as prepared as possible for that, because as you know, a lot of our federal funding does have strings attached to make sure that there's a greater focus on job placement and student success. Make sure that we as a system are prepared for that. And lastly, underneath clear pathways is to strengthen dual credit opportunities, especially in the wake of changes by KIA with dual credit scholarships, but also having a better understanding of the financial impact of dual credit. And just a gentle reminder that's 1/3 of our enrollees are dual credit. Vision number 2 is to strengthen Kentucky's workforce through employer engagement. And goal number 1 is to build strategic partnerships. This is something that Tanel and I have been spending a lot of time on, developing existing but also new partnerships. We have many in the works right now. Oftentimes, these partnerships help elevate Kentucky's KCTCS's role with other organizations, but also internships and scholarship money as well. The next goal is to strengthen career development for every student. This overlaps with our federal accountability standards, making sure that we have as robust as possible career development opportunities for students on day one when they enroll with us, that we can help communicate job opportunities that will lead to employment once they complete their studies with us or during their course of study with us. And the last vision is to build a stronger and more innovative KCTCS. These are recurring goals. The first few are that go back to my first day on the job. One would be making sure that we implement legislative priorities. The General Assembly has implemented a lot of new legislation. House Bill 619, House Bill 419, the Kentucky Fire Commission, as well as others that affect all of higher education. There's plenty of work to be done on implementing this properly and correctly the first time. Another one is that you all approved back in March a new strategic plan that will get us through year 2030. And so we have an action plan for that. So we want to make sure that one of the goals this year is to implement the strategic plan that you all have bestowed upon us. The next goal is to strengthen accountability and operational success. This mainly reverts back to making sure that all those audits that we have completed at this point, that all those observations have been cured and implemented, and that we have created a culture of success. And for those that serve on the audit committee, you know what we're talking about. We want to make sure that's part of one of our goals, make sure we don't lose focus on the fact that we got to make sure that we've come a long way with public audits and that we continue to make sure that that is a priority. The next one has to do with data governance and technology modernization. Obviously, we have new operating systems and technology investments that we're investing in as a system, many of which take up to a year and a half to implement, but also making sure that our data is consistent across the system. That's something that we have found that sometimes the numbers that we use at the system office may be off from what's being used at a college or off what CPE is using. And so that's something that we're going to spend a lot of time on to make sure there's consistency of data as well. The next one is develop a system-wide vision for artificial intelligence. This one is in the works. We've been working on it for well over a year, but making sure that with the framework that PLT has adopted across KCTCS is consistent and where we need to go. All of higher education in America is dealing with AI right now, but we need to make sure that our plan is consistent and is implemented across the system as seamlessly and thoughtful as possible. The next one has to deal with making sure that we advocate for changes in the performance-based funding model. As you know, there's a work group going on right now, convened by CPE. We are obviously attending all the meetings, but looking for ways for KCTCS to be prepared for potential changes to performance-based funding, hopefully ones that benefit our system. Two more real quick here. Elevate the KCTCS story. One thing that I've heard from many people, including Regent Hunt, is that we have a lot of good news across KCTCS, and perhaps we can do a little bit better job of getting it out there about exactly who we are as a complex organization, but also making sure that we are connecting with local media sources to highlight individual college, student success, faculty and staff success as well. There's a lot of good news. We need to make sure we get it out there. And the last goal to mention would be to invest in employee success. This is working with our HR team to make sure that we are providing as generous of benefits as possible, leadership opportunities, career development opportunities for our KCTCS teammates. There's always looking for ways to improve. And one we just announced last week was a 50% tuition discount at Western Kentucky University for KCTCS employees. We're always looking for ways to make us one of the best places to work. So, Mr. Chairman, those would be the 16 specific goals for this next year, umbrellaed underneath three major points of vision. So happy to answer any questions, and I look forward to this being a criteria for which you all will evaluate me on in the spring.
Quick question, slightly unrelated. When we talk about the KCTCS story and getting that story out, Do you all ever do that in a sort of an auditorium type of scenario, meaning you got a captive audience with PowerPoints and the like? Just curious.
I think that's happening individually at different colleges, mainly among convocations and welcome back. But we could definitely bolster that as we do my visits across campus. We always try to have community events that would be public facing, breakfasts, etc., or speaking at rotaries and chamber groups. But that's something that we can incorporate as well. But to answer your question, yes, it's happening, but not in a formalized way.
Okay, just curious.
I have a question. Dr. Qualls, sometime could you address the board very briefly about the role of Kentucky State and what it's, if it's not going to have an effect on it, but what it's going to lead to? And then I guess that I would be since I'm from Western Kentucky, about the veterinarian things. What are we doing in our curriculum at KCTCS and throughout the system to prepare students to go into the veterinarian situation? Because I know we don't have a lot right now, so that's just thought down the road sometime. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Regent. And I'm happy to include that in my president's remarks at the September board meeting. Actually, I just met with the newly appointed dean of the Murray State Vet School just this morning. And so we're happy to talk about that, other opportunities, and the work we're doing with KSU as well. We'll incorporate that in my report to you at the September board meeting.
Okay. If there's no more questions or comments, I'll take a motion to recommend the KCTCS Board of Regents President's 2026-2027 evaluation form.
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you.
Motion by Vice Chair Stevens, second by Secretary Witten. I'm going to do a roll call vote. Chair Hamilton,
Yes.
Vice Chair Stevens,
Yes.
Secretary Witten,
Yes.
Regent Hunt, Regent Rabinowitz.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Thank you very much. Is there any new business that the committee needs to address at this time? If not, we will move forward.
None for me, except for those teaching. Good luck this week, getting back into it.
Okay, I'm looking for a motion that the executive committee adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Secretary Witten, second by Vice Chair Stevens. Is there any objection to the motion to adjourn? Hearing none, the motion passes by consensus. See a bunch of you here in about 15 minutes.
See many of you soon. Thank you.